Hey, what's going on everybody? Today on the channel we're going to be quickly talking about macOS Sonoma 14.3. So this update came in at 935 megabytes here on my 2018 MacBook Air. Yes, this is a 2018 MacBook Air, so kind of an old computer now, but at least we're still running the latest version of macOS, so that's pretty cool. Anyways, these updates came out a couple days ago, and they're relatively small. They're feature updates, but they're all been relatively small. I think every update that I installed was less than a gigabyte. This one here on the Mac is actually the biggest one out of all of them, so pretty interesting. So there's a couple features that have obviously been kind of carried over from iOS to the Mac, but there are some things missing. It's just kind of interesting. There's really not a lot to talk about here, but we'll go ahead and talk about the few things. So I've already mentioned this several times on iOS, and it's also in watchOS. Well, guess what? It's now on macOS. Apple Music now has the ability to create collaborative playlists. Now, unfortunately, I don't use Apple Music, but you can now do collaborating on playlists. It's about time Apple Music decided to jump on this bandwagon. So basically you can create the playlist, you can choose whether or not you want people to collaborate, and then you can invite certain people to join your playlist, and then they can join it, and you all can put together a great playlist. Also, you have the ability to have emoji reactions, so that way you and your friends can react differently to different songs in the playlist. So that is here in Apple Music, and it's now available on basically all your devices as well. The next thing we'll talk about has to do with your system settings. So if you go into system settings and you head over to the general tab and you go to Apple Care and Warranty, you now have the ability to see all of the coverage for all of your different devices. So you can do this in iOS 17.3. Well, now you can see it here on your Mac as well. So you can see, obviously, this is the Mac that we're on. If you wanted to, you could click on one of these devices and it'll tell you a little bit more information about how you can get support if you need it. So obviously, I don't have Apple Care Plus and my coverage has expired. So it tells you basically what you need to do with that. It also tells you how you can get, like I said, different ways to service your device or support. So that is pretty cool. You can now see that on all of your devices. Now, one interesting thing that's not found here in macOS, also I didn't find this in iPadOS either, is the new stolen device protection. So this is only here on iPhones for now, I guess. But the stolen device protection allows you to have kind of an extra layer of security with Face ID or Touch ID. So if somebody were to get into your phone, they would actually have to have Face ID or Touch ID to change sensitive settings like privacy settings, Apple ID settings, and things like that. So it's kind of interesting how this is not available on the Mac, even though there's plenty of Macs out there with Touch ID. But I guess we'll have to wait and see what Apple does with that. And then last but not least, of course, there are security updates. So if you head over to Apple's support page, you can go to the security updates for each different version of software, and you can see what they addressed. Bug fixes. Apple doesn't really mention exactly what bugs they fixed, other than there was bug fixes. So that's about it for that. But anyways, guys, that's basically everything here in macOS Sonoma 14.3. Again, not a lot of stuff to actually talk about, but there is a few new features, so I guess it's worth making a video about, right? Anyways, guys, that's all I got for you today. I appreciate you watching the channel as always, and I will catch you on the next video.